Long Island property taxes in 2026 between Queens, Nassau, and Suffolk. Yeah, the house is great, but wait till you see the taxes. If you're shopping in Queens, Nassau, or Suffolk, you've probably heard that line more than once. Today, I'm breaking down exactly how property taxes work in New York City versus Nassau County versus Suffolk County, and what those tax dollars actually pay for. By the end of this video, you won't just know why your friend in Queens pays way less tax on a similar priced house than your cousin in Nassau, you'll also know how star exemptions and local budgets hit your payment every single month. If you're thinking about buying, selling, or just trying to understand your current tax bill, stay tuned, because understanding this can literally be the difference between comfortable and being house poor. Big picture, how New York property taxes really work. Before we zoom into Queens, Nassau, and Suffolk, let's set the stage. Outside of New York City, your property tax is usually not one single tax, it's a stack. You've got your county tax, town or city tax, your school district tax, and then special districts like water, sewer, library, or fire protection layered on top. Each of these local governments builds a budget. They add up what they need to spend, subtract out other revenue like state aid, sales tax, fees, and any reserves that they're using, and whatever is left over is called the tax levy, the amount they have to charge property owners. That tax levy gets spread across the taxable properties in that area based on your assessed value. The basic formula is assessed value minus exemptions equals taxable value, and then taxable value times the tax rate gives you the dollar amount you pay. Now add in STAR, which is also stands for School Tax Relief. STAR is the New York State program that applies to school taxes on your primary residence, not your investment properties, not your second home. There are two main versions. Basic STAR is for most owner-occupants under the income cap. Enhanced STAR is for seniors 65 and over with lower incomes. Both work by exempting a chunk of your home's values from school taxes or with the credit by giving you a check back. So when you hear someone say my taxes are 15 grand, remember that's not one tax. That's multiple local budgets stacked together with STAR and other exemptions shaving down the school portion a bit but not rewriting the whole bill. In Queens and New York City, we have a bit of a weird system, a lower effective tax rate. Let's start in Queens, because New York City's property tax system is totally different from the rest of the state. New York City divides property into 4 tax classes: 1 to 3 family homes, which is most of the houses in Queens, and they're what's called Class 1. Here's the part that confuses everyone. The Class 1 tax rate looks high, around 19 to 20%. For the current tax years, Class 1 has just been about 20%. That sounds insane until you realize the city only assesses these homes at about 6% of their market value. So instead of applying that 20% to the full value of your home, the city is applying it to a much smaller assessed value. When you do the math, the effective tax rate of the full market value ends up under 1% in many cases. Let me put real numbers on that, because this is a perfect example if you're comparing Queens to Long Island. Imagine you buy a $900,000 house in Queens. The city might assess that around 6% of market value. So your assessed value is roughly $54,000. Take the Class 1 rate, a bit under 20%, and apply that to $54,000. That math gives you a ballpark annual bill in the range of $9,000 to $11,000, depending on your exact assessment and the rate for that year. Break that down monthly, and you're talking roughly $750 to $920 a month in property taxes on a $900,000 house in Queens. Now, what are you actually paying for that in that Queens tax bill? In New York City, your single property tax bill helps with funding the police, the public schools, fire, EMS, sanitation, libraries, and a big citywide bureaucracy. There is no separate school tax bill the way that there is in Nassau and Suffolk. The city budgets, bundles everything together and funds it from a mix of property taxes, city income, and other revenue like sales and business tax. If you're comparing a house in Queens to a house on Long Island, keep this in mind. For a one-family home in Queens, the effective property tax rate on the full home value is often under 1%. On Long Island, it's very common to see effective rates closer to 1.8, 2, or even 2.5% once you add in school taxes and special districts. Now let's just jump over the city line into Nassau County, places like Valley Stream, Garden City, Great Neck, and Hicksville. Nassau's tax structure is much more than classic suburban New York. Your total bill is usually made up of several layers: a Nassau County tax, your town tax, Hempstead, North Hempstead, Oyster Bay, and so on and so on. Sometimes a village tax if you are in an incorporated village. Your school district tax plus special districts like water, sewer, garbage, fire, and library. Each of those pieces has its own rate of $1,000 of value, and they all stack. The countrywide rate may be a few dollars per thousand, while some school districts are in the lower double digits per thousand of full value and others are well over that. When you look at what people actually pay, recent data shows NASSAU's median effective property tax rate is right around 2.1% of market value, with effective ranges often between 2 and 3% depending on the community and the school district. So let's go back to our $900,000 example. You move that house into a typical Nassau school district. If you apply a realistic effective rate of 2 to 2.5%, your annual tax bill is easily in the $18,000 to $22,500 range. Break that out monthly and you're talking roughly $1,500 to $1,800, $1,900 a month in the same property taxes on the same $900,000 home in many Nassau districts. If you're in a very high tax school district or layered with a village plus multiple special districts, it can go even higher. But where does all that money go? In Nassau, the biggest slice of your bill is almost always the public school district. That's your local elementary, middle, and high school budgets. The rest gets split up between county services like police, roads, towns, village services, parks, and some sanitation. And then special districts have fire protection, garbage collection in certain areas, water, sewer, and libraries. Now let's bring STAR back into the picture. STAR only touches the school portion of your bill in your primary residence. It does nothing for the county, town, or special district lines. Basic STAR is available if you're under the income cap and it exempts a set amount of value for school tax purposes. Or you get it as a check if you're on the credit program. Enhanced STAR for eligible seniors 65 and older with qualifying incomes gives a larger benefit. In practice, that often trims your school line by a few hundred to maybe $600 or $700 a year for basic STAR, not by $5,000 or $10,000. So if your school taxes are $12,000 out of a $20,000 bill, STAR might bring that down to $12,000 or something like $11,200 or $11,000, depending on your exact situation. It's still a serious tax bill. The bottom line in Nassau is you often get incredible schools and strong and local services in many neighborhoods, but you pay for it through some of the highest property taxes in the country for that same $900,000 home compared to Queens next door. And let's talk a little bit about Suffolk County. You get more land and it's a slightly lower tax rate. Next, let's drive farther east into Suffolk County. Places like Huntington, Smithtown, Islip, Brookhaven. Suffolk looks similar to Nassau. Your bill typically includes county tax, town tax, school taxes, and various special districts such as fire, ambulance, library, water, and sewer. The big difference is that Suffolk's effective property tax rate is often a bit lower on the average than Nassau's, still higher than New York City's. Recent guides put Suffolk's effective rate roughly 1.7 to 2% of market value in many communities, with a lot of variation by town and school district. So if we use that same $900,000 home, but place it in a mid-tax Suffolk area, you apply an effective rate about 1.8 to 1.9%. So you're looking at something like $16,000 to $17,000 a year in property tax. That's roughly $1,330 to about $1,425 a month. Now Suffolk has a twist. Assessments are handled by each town and reassessments are not always frequent. That means assessed values can lag behind changing market values, and that's why you hear about people filing grievances or hiring firms to challenge their assessments. Where do Suffolk taxes go? Just like Nassau, the biggest chunk usually goes to your local school district. That's the main driver of your bill. Then you have Suffolk County services like certain county roads, social services, county parks, and in some areas, county police and sheriff responsibilities, plus your town services, local roads, beaches, parks, planning, and zoning. On top of that, you'll see separate line items for special districts such as fire, ambulance, and library. In some parts of Suffolk, water and sewer are also on your property tax bill, while in other parts you might be on a private water company or a septic instead of sewer. STAR in Suffolk works the same way that it does in Nassau. Basic and enhanced STAR only reduce the school portion of the bill of your primary residence if you qualify, typically trimming that school line by a few $100s for basic and more for enhanced seniors, not cutting your whole bill in half. Now let's put this all together in one simple comparison, because this is the part that really hits home when you're choosing where to buy a home. We're going to look at all three homes, all worth around $900,000. House A is in Queens, New York City, Class 1. House B is in a mid-tax school district in Nassau County. House C is in a mid-tax school district in Suffolk County. So your friend in Queens with a $900,000 house might be paying something like $800 to $900 a month in property taxes. Your cousin in Nassau with the same $900,000 value might easily be paying $1,600, $1,700, or $1,800 or more per month. And while your buddy in Suffolk might land somewhere in between $1,350 to the $1,400 range. The key takeaway is that the price of the house is only half the story. The location, and specifically the school district, the village, and the special districts can swing your property taxes by hundreds of dollars every single month. So when you're comparing $900,000 in Queens, $900,000 in Nassau, and $900,000 in Suffolk, it's not just the house you're choosing, it's also which tax structure you're signing up for. Let's go a little deeper on STAR and exemptions because a lot of people overestimate how much these actually save them. Think of STAR as a discount only on the school line of your tax bill. It does not reduce your county, town, village, or special district charges. Basic STAR is available on your primary residence if your income is under the state's limit and you meet all the ownership and residency rules. It exempts a set amount of value for school tax purposes, or if you're in the STAR credit program, you get that savings as a check back from the state. Enhanced STAR is designed for seniors 65 and older who meet a lower income limit. This gives a bigger exemption on credit amount, which translates into a larger reduction on the school portion of the bill. In real dollars, Basic STAR often trims a few $100s off your school taxes each year, while Enhanced STAR can be worth more, sometimes in the high hundreds or low thousands, depending on the area. Here's a simple way to look at it. If your total property tax bill is $18,000 a year and $12,000 of that is school taxes, STAR might bring down the school portion to something like $11,200 or $11,000. That changes your total bill from $18,000 to maybe $17,000, $17,200. Month to month, that $800 to $1,000 annual savings is roughly $65 to $80 a month. It's not real money, but it does not turn a $1,600 tax payment into $900. It just takes a little edge off. On top of STAR, there are other exemptions: senior citizen exemptions, veterans exemptions, disability exemptions, and sometimes local programs that reduce county or town taxes on a sliding scale if you qualify. These don't eliminate taxes, but if you stack them and you're eligible, you can shave down another small notch. The big idea is exemptions tweak the bill. They don't redefine the underlying tax structure in your area. Budgeting and choosing where to buy. Now that you understand the mechanics, let's talk about how you actually use this when you're shopping for a home or planning your budget. First, don't just shop by purchase price. Shop by monthly payments with realistic taxes for that location. Two $900,000 homes can have property taxes that are $700, $800, even $1,000 apart every month, depending on where they're in Queens, Nassau, or Suffolk. Second, always look up or ask for the current year's tax bill for any house that you're serious about. Don't rely on automatic websites. You want to see the real bill line by line so you know how much is school, how much is county and town, and whether there are village or special districts. Third, you want to ask a few key questions. Is STAR already applied to this bill, or will I be able to apply for it after I buy? Number two, are there any temporary exemptions on this property that I might lose when I buy it? Number three, is there a separate village or special district bill that I need to budget for? In terms of lifestyle, here's a simple way to reframe it. Queens tends to give you a lower property tax value bill on the same value, but you're in a denser, more urban environment with less land and different school structures. Nassau often offers exceptional schools and services in many districts, but with some of the highest property taxes on that $900,000 home, which can really push up your monthly payment. Suffolk usually gives you a bit more land, often slightly lower taxes than Nassau on average, but it can come with more driving, fewer transit options, and different service patterns depending on how far east you go. The right choice isn't just where the taxes are the lowest, it's where the taxes, the schools, the services, and your lifestyle all line up with your budget. Now you know exactly why your friend in Queens can pay around $10,000 a year for a $900,000 house, while your cousin in Nassau might be paying close to $20,000, and your neighbor in Suffolk lands somewhere in between. You've seen how the city's Class 1 system works and how Nassau and Suffolk stack county, town, school, special districts, and how STAR and other exemptions actually show up in your monthly payment. Not in theory, but in real numbers. If this has helped you understand property taxes in Queens, Nassau, and Suffolk, hit the like, subscribe, and share this with a friend that always says, yeah, the house is great, but wait till you see the taxes. And if you want me to break down the taxes for your specific town or your price range, drop it in the comments below. I might feature your scenario in my next video. Taxes and reassessments are shifting buyer behavior all over Queens, Nassau, and Suffolk. And if you've even considered making a move, this is the time to find out what buyers will actually pay for your home right now. Click on the link below or shoot me a DM for a free, no obligation home value report and a game plan to get your place sold for top dollar, even with today's tax bills.